And hi, everybody. This is Philip Wilson with Wilson Collective here in Los Angeles. And I have a very good friend and someone I've admired immensely in our industry, incredibly multifaceted in all levels, from education to photo imagery to NAHA, a winner and nominee, just an amazing individual. And it's great that I, coming from the same country as Francesca, can have a little chat for a while. This is Francesca Rivetti. Good morning, good afternoon. Hello, darling. How are you?
Hello, matey. How are you?
Good, thank
It's
you.
afternoon here in Philadelphia.
Oh, right. Yeah, that would be, and everybody's going to bed at home.
Yeah,
So,
5 hours, so that'll be 8:30
yeah,
at
you're
night.
five and I'm an eight. So, here's where I wanted to start. So, I thought about, I was chatting to Mary about how and what I would like to ask you, have the opportunity, because we only do this once a month, uh, Wilson's Wisdom Wednesdays, and it's just fun. But having that we only do it once, we're very, should we say, somewhat selective on who we bring on. And to have you on is truly, it's freaking amazing. I'm very honored. So let's start off, and everybody's, irrespective of what world they live and operate in, where did you start? Talk about where did Francesca start this incredible journey?
Right. Well, first of all, I'm honored that you picked me as one of your special peeps. So thank you both to you and Mary. Um, well, as you know, I'm a fellow Brit, born and raised in England, but I'm 100% Italian. I was born
Hmm.
to Italian immigrants. So growing up, I couldn't speak English until I went to school at the age of 5 because they did not speak English. And I grew up in a town called Peterborough. Yeah, I grew up in a very small town called Peterborough, which is just north
I
of
know it.
Cambridge. And
Hmm.
back then it was very small. And there weren't that many salons. You know, you could count on one hand. And out of those, they probably weren't even that great. And it was back during the shampoo and set era. So my first salon that I worked at was a typical shampoo and set little salon. And I say little because it was called Le Petit Salon because it was small. And you knew what day and time it was, Philip, by who was under the dryer.
I know.
You
Yeah,
knew it
yeah.
was Wednesday at
I
10
did
o'clock
it.
in
I did it. I
the
did
morning.
it.
And
Yeah.
oh God, the stuff they had me doing there as an assistant, like, washing the end papers out and reusing them, diluting 100 volume developer into everything else. And I can remember sitting there, flicking through hair magazines and thinking, oh, wow, because I was just seeing what I was seeing, which, trust me, what I learned there was priceless.
I
The
bet. I
techniques
bet.
that they did from the teasing and the cottage loaves and how high she could tease it off the head and put it into this most beautiful, smooth chignon, priceless. We don't see that today. So um, there's always something you're going to learn from every experience that we have. And the crazy thing was I would look through magazines like how do you do that? And then look at me now. I can't believe that I'm doing that. And it wasn't. I mean, for me, things fell into place. It wasn't like I was a seeker per
Right.
se. And I'm definitely not an offspring of Adele Sassoon, as I know a lot of hairdressers are. However, this amazing guy called Danny Boom, late Danny Boom, moved from London to our small town Peterborough, opened up a salon, took the town by storm. People were talking about it like it was a nightclub.
Yeah. Yeah.
My brother Antimo, and I do give kudos to him, he could see something in me that I couldn't at the time. I was 16, by the way, at the time, 16,
Right.
17.
Right.
And so Antimo came to the Le Petit Salon during lunch, said to Mary, the owner, I'm taking my sister somewhere for lunch. He took me to this salon that was booming, pardon the pun, Mr. Boom, and took me there, met Danny Boom, and Danny Boone put the fear of death in me. He said, all right, you can come and work here for 3 months. And if you ain't got it, you ain't got it. And you're out the door. And I'm like, oh my God. So for 3 months, I was a basket case because I literally mirrored everything he did.
Yeah.
Everything. We were known as the human clip. You held the hair for the stylist. They didn't use actual clips. And I can remember just being blown away by everything he did. And I would go home, Philip, and I would stand in front of the mirror. And I would say, okay, his right foot is here, his left foot is here, his elbow is here, his right hand, and his pinky is here. And I would stand in the mirror and I would do all this stuff. And I didn't know what I was doing. It's like I'm doing like Tai Chi or something. and then on Tuesdays was our training day. So all the assistants didn't assist. We worked on models. And he would say, all right, I want you to do this haircut. Now, he was a brilliant hair cutter, even to this day. However, could he verbalize it? Absolutely no way. He couldn't verbalize it. Because will you hold it like this? I'm like, well, what's like this? Because well, like this. So I would have to look at it like this. And okay, well, that's doing this. This is doing that. And again, I would go home and I would mirror the whole thing. So next week, I'd be this, that, this. And I had no idea what the hell I was doing. But it worked for the time. So that's how I originally started. And I really got my break, to be honest, is when I came to the US in 91, which was supposed to be for 9 months only, with Graham Webb International.
Oh, I remember Graham Webb.
Amazing company, amazing people from the behind the scenes to the field staff to the creative, everything. And I came over with them in 91 on a 9-month contract. Well, my feet did not touch the ground. So in 7 months, they had flown me to 21 states in 7 months.
No.
Crazy.
That's when you realize how big this place is.
Oh my God. It was, I mean, and you're just on
where we came from.
Yeah, I mean, we come from tiny little towns with tiny little streets and tiny little houses. And you're like, here, everything's like triple the size. The food, oh my God.
Oh, yeah. Oh, incredible.
And the worst thing was a cup of tea, right? Cup of tea was like dishwater.
Every time
the cup of tea was like, oh, this is gross. So being with the Graham Webb creative team, which is I got promoted to be part of the creative team, which opened up doors for me to do photo shoots with the company. New products that were launched, I would help with the creation of the hairstyles to go with the product, and then every year we would come out with a haircut collection.
Right.
My friend Irene Nicole, she was the creative director, and she and I worked very closely together in putting these collections together. And then, of course, our creative team grew. And I loved being on set at a photo shoot. And I'm just not scared of hair, you know. It to me, hair is like it drives me and I thrive on it. So
it's never ending.
And I have done everything. I mean, with your awesome introduction, I have done everything. And one thing I love to do is teach. I absolutely love teaching. There's nothing more gratifying than to see those light bulb moments with your class. And I think I have a unique way of teaching. I believe I do, you know, because I like to break it down.
Yeah. I think there are those artists that just have that natural ability to transcend what they're doing, feeling, and experiencing, and transition it to other people. That is a gift. There is no doubt about that. You talked about the guy in Peterborough that really didn't have any interest in teaching, but yet had the incredible hands and heart and passion to do it. Exactly. It is a talent. Now, it was amazing. Let's hook onto that, because you've got 2 objectives that I look at. Well, there's 4, but I want to touch on to one. Italy.
Yes.
And educate. That to me sounds like the ideal place for incredible, you know, creativity. And what give us a lowdown on.
Well, you and Mary should come first. You should come. So
I will come.
I don't know if my friend Daniela is watching from Italy, but I have an awesome friend in Italy, Daniela. We've been friends for over 8 years, and she runs bespoke private courses. She said to me a few months ago, she said, why don't we do a program together? And I'm like, how does that look? She said, I don't know, but I'm like, you know what? Why didn't I think of that before? So if you know me, you will know that I love anything and everything Italian. I love Italy, and I love to teach, and I love photo shoots. So now we've put all that together. The program is called Eat, Play, Learn. And it's,
Play, learn.
like that, like the movie Eat, Play, Love.
Yep.
If you remember the book and the
Eat,
movie, Eat, Play, Love.
Yep. Yep. Love
So
it.
this is what we've got going on. You can see I'm really excited. It's only available for 10 stylists from anywhere in the world. But you have to sign up quick because we need to get the 10 signed up so that we can put the deposits on the hotel. The dates
are going to sell out real fast.
Yeah, so the September 25th through the 29th are the course dates. We're asking everybody to arrive on the 23rd, which is the Saturday. So it's 5 days. Now, what's included? Your hotel, breakfast, lunch, wine tour, wine tasting, because that's what the Italians do. A cooking class as well.
Wow.
Because it's all going to be about taste and tactile. And three every morning with me for 3 hours. We're going to work on the photo shoot theme because it's going to be a photo shoot on the Friday. So all day Friday is going to be the photo shoot. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday morning is going to be 3 hours with us together as creatives, coming up with a concept and making it all. I'm going to be bringing all or most of the props. They won't really have to bring much at all in that realm. And so it's 7 nights, because the hotel is from the Saturday, the 23rd till Saturday, the 30th. But the course date is 5 days. We're giving them like one night off a week during that week so they can do their own thing. And also it's in this awesome town that's easy to walk around. There's cafes, there's restaurants, and it's right in the heart of Umbria. And Umbria is nestled in the middle, in the north, in the middle, next to Tuscany. And they call it the green heart of Italy. So it's just luscious Umbrian hills and mountains. It is incredible. And the food is incredible. I was there this past summer. And I've been there several times, so I know the town quite well. My friend Daniela lives just outside of this town. So what we want to do is kick it off there this year, and we want to continue to do this, if not once, but twice a year, but still Italy's our focus and go to different parts of Italy. So if you want to come back again next time, we'll be doing it elsewhere. So
maybe
you get
Sicily, Palermo.
Yeah, and then Tuscany and Sorrento. And so it's called Eat, Play, Learn. You can go to my website, francescarivetti.com, or on Instagram, it's in my links. And so it's Francesca Rivetti _hair art on my Instagram. But it is a hairstylist creative escape.
It sounds as though it's like when I think of Italy, being where you and I are from and knowing the Italian world well, it's almost like a creative Italian cultural experience.
Exactly. It's exactly what it is, Philip. It's especially for those that have never been, they are going to be blown away by the culture. Everything, the fashion, the food, the wine, the air, just everything. I mean,
so they can go on to francescarivetti.com to connect with you, to get information on this incredible adventure. And it's coming up in September of this year.
September this year. The course dates are the 25th through the 29th, but we're asking them to arrive on the 23rd. The hotel is booked for 7 nights. So it's $3,500 for the whole thing.
That's amazing.
Excluding their own personal flight, how they're going to get to and from the town, and then also excluding, I think, 1 or 2 nights of dinner, and also any vino. But the wine course, the pasta course, the hair course, the photo shoot, we've got the photographer, we've got the we're getting the models, we're getting the makeup artists. So, and we're working with local artists, and they're so excited, the people we've spoken to. And Daniela actually just sent me today a video of the chef. What he's going, oh my God, I'm going to post that tomorrow. Wait till you see that.
Post it up.
It's going to be a lot of all about taste and tactile, and you won't be disappointed. You won't be disappointed.
So you say that the latter part of the event in Italy will be a photo shoot.
Yes, on the Friday.
Now, you being very familiar with the world of photo imagery and NAHA, are they able, those lucky 10 that I'm sure will sell out extremely fast now that we've bantered on about it, will you also, if they have a curiosity in the NAHA world of how to create photography, could this be involved in that photo shoot at the end of the event?
Yeah, well, because we're doing it initially, I don't know how that works with NAHA, but
Right.
I would like to put together a course this year, because I did enter this year as a team entry, which we didn't get nominated. We just found that out today, and that's okay, but the work was still amazing. I have people ask me all the time, how do you do it? How do you do your photo shoots? I want to be involved. I want to be on board. Can I come and assist? This is the questions I get asked a lot. So what I would like to do is put a course together. And if anybody's interested, they can DM me and let me know. It will be based here in Philadelphia. There will be a fee because I'm going to put the whole team together. So we can enter that as a team here in the US.
Right.
I don't know with Italy, we will have images to do whatever we want, right?
Got it.
Submit to magazines. I don't know how, because it's not shot in the US. I don't know how that works, to be honest.
Right.
I don't see why not, but no, we could give it a go, right? We could give it a go.
I think, we'll give it a go.
Yeah.
You seem to grow up listening to that every day. I'll give it a go, mate. I used to think, give it a go. What if it doesn't work? Give it another go. Yeah. And I used to think that it's like,
you got to dust yourself off, right? Pick yourself up and give it a go.
Give it a go. It's so now further on, a Brit in the US. How are you if someone from home asked that question? You said that you weren't an offshoot of the Sassoon world. I was, but not heavy. No, I was more like, there was a group in London, Elbow Room, which was Russell Williams, Paul Garrett, Peter Aldridge, and we were at Harrods, fifth floor way and living, and we all jammed there. But there was that Sassoon thing there. But and it was a great blueprint. Don't get me wrong. It was a
I teach a program called Reset, which is all about your fundamentals. I don't care who you are, where you've been, how long you've been doing it. Everybody needs to revisit the fundamentals at some point in their career.
So let's harp on that, because you're doing Italy. So we've got it down that people know how to contact you relating to that, the time, the location, the event, and what it's all about, which is brilliant, by the way.
Thank you,
I just wish that we were around it. I would join you.
We're really excited for this program.
I would be your wine buddy, but nevertheless.
Yes. Well, there's always next year. We can always plan it for next year.
Oh, next year. I'll join you. Education from what we had. And we've got lots of people on. Nick French, who is like my best buddy.
Is he watching right now?
Oh, yeah. And so say hi to Nicky listening. A genius avant-garde guru.
He is my all-time idol,
Yeah, he is. He's my, I adore him, respect him, and tremendous admiration for where he is in his creative world. But going back to education, where does Francesca see the world of education today in the US?
Great question. I really do see us revisiting our fundamentals, because it's a lost art in the US system. Sadly, I just learned not so long ago that the state of Pennsylvania, where I live, when you take your test, you don't have to take the practical. It's all written. Now, how the hell can you do that? Exactly. So, and even so, even if they do take the practical, we know coming from over the pond that our training is more disciplined than it is here when it comes to the fundamentals. And one of my favorite quotes is by Pablo Picasso: Learn the rules like a pro so you can break them like an artist.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's where I live.
Yeah.
You know, when we came out with the Wilson method, I mean, I was sassoon. And like you, you know, then when I was in Alexandria in Paris, it was like, it was the Italian, the French, and the English worlds all starting to blend
Come
together.
together, yeah.
And it was, and as you said, I mean, we had to do 5-year apprenticeships in London.
Right.
That's the law. You can't just go in and 1,000 hours later, you're hairstylist.
Yeah. I just had an awesome young girl, Sarah, who invested in herself 16 hours with me just before Christmas, 4 hours a week. And we covered everything in a discipline for A-line, for line work only, for your A-line bob, your square bob, and the round bob. But I taught her how to hold her scissors. I taught her how to use her body to flow with the motions of hair cutting. I call that hair chi, because you're getting into the movement. How to wrap, blow dry your bobs and create beautiful classic shapes. And she got so much out of it, as did I, because I think when I teach, I learn.
Yes,
when I
agreed.
teach, I remember.
Yeah. Good point.
Sometimes you forget, sometimes you forget stuff. Because none of us are doing classic bobs all day long in our sounds. I get that. However, I think you should do yourself as a service by revisiting them once in a while, so you brush up on those skills. And I definitely would refer to myself as a rebellion disciplinarian. That's because I am disciplined with the classics, but oh my God, do I like to break them up? Like the 7-section shag that I came out with a couple of years ago. And actually, if Nick is still watching, he was like one of the biggest fans of the 7-section shag. And it's an amazing technique. But you know what, Philip? We have to revisit the head shape.
Got to.
We have to revisit the head shape, so you know exactly where these 7 sections live. So when you cut it, you know what's going to happen. There'll be no surprises. So when I teach that haircut, we always go back and then come back to the future. So it's like going back and forward, because you have to go back to remember, okay, this is what the head shape does. These are the reference points. And then we take it to what's happening now with the technique. It's an awesome, awesome haircut. Awesome technique. I've had it on and I've done it on every length and texture hair, and it's been amazing.
Yeah. The reason I asked that question was because I'm not saying lost or it's not being paid attention to, but understanding the fundamental basics. How can you paint if you don't know what the shape of the canvas is, or if the canvas is set for you to be able to paint whatever is in your creative mind?
Or if you want to learn to read, you have to learn the alphabet.
Exactly.
Or if you want to learn how many words there are.
Right.
Or if you
we
want
have
to learn
people on they're from Alaska, and they say, we absolutely agree with Francesca. It's the same here in Alaska. No practical exam.
Oh, wow. Well, listen, Lovey from Alaska, I want to start a reset movement. I am so passionate about this. I want to start this movement. Yes. I can't see any comments, so I apologize. But I want to see a reset movement, because we need to bring that into our schools somehow. And I actually tried to get a hold of the state board. I only just got back from England a couple of weeks ago. And I tried to get a hold of the state board, because that's my goal first quarter this year, is I want to get a hold of them, hear it from them. And then I want to start a reset movement where we are going around to the schools teaching it. Or if they're not going to offer it in the classrooms, then this is an after school program you can invest in. And maybe, wouldn't it be great if we could create a hair team around the country that we all meet together and talk the same language? And then you go and do it in California, and I'll do it over here, and somebody's doing it in Alaska, so that we can create this. Because honestly, the rules are only fun when you're breaking them, when you know what you're breaking. You can't break a rule if you don't know what it is, right?
No.
So
that is so true. That's why I'm looking forward to.
The Italian comes out.
You're the same as me, where you get so passionate about something. And it's like, I think I've got to keep walking forward. I've got to make it understand. Fortunately, I have a partner who is the absolute love of my life, my wife, Mary,
Oh,
who
she's
keeps
awesome.
me as much as she possibly can, keeps me on the straight and narrow, because I'm like this. I'm like all over. But I know I can think it and see it, but then it's to understand how to execute it. And I
Right.
think that's where a lot of the young designers today are. I know they've got brilliant passion and creativity.
Mm.
And I think if you were to, I'm saying, yes, go back to fundamental basics, it's more intense. If you were to create that course, I
Hmm.
think that course would be packed day and night.
Yeah, I
Brilliant.
have created it. I debuted it with my protege. She invested 16 hours, and it was incredible just to watch her
Right.
journey every week. And she got it. And obviously, you have to put in the work too. You have to go home and practice and implement it behind the chair. Otherwise, it's a waste of time. But that's what I want to do. So I really want to like push the reset program.
We've got on a very good friend of Mary and I, Michael Miller, who's an exceptional artist,
Oh, hi,
educator.
Michael. Yeah,
Yeah, he's brilliant, a very dear friend.
yeah,
And his comment was, I would totally agree with the reemergence of basics. Go
yes,
do it. So
absolutely.
I think that would be amazing. And I mean, you and I, Mary and Taylor, a whole group of us are doing the upcoming cruise out of Miami.
The
Which should
Mayan
be,
soul. Yeah.
yeah, that will be a very interesting, and I'd love to continue chatting with you there. I
Yes,
mean,
I would
we
love to
can,
continue chatting on that part there because I think we're onto something.
right,
I really
right,
do.
and you can buy me as many gin and tonics as you like.
I'll get
And
you
then
time on
coming up, and then we have the Seven Springs show coming up,
Yes,
which should be
that's the end of April. We have a
end of April.
busy first quarter of the year.
It
So
is.
anyone that can get to, it's about an hour from Pittsburgh, I believe.
Right.
And it is the Beauty Expo show run by
Yes,
salontraining.com. If people haven't heard of salontraining.com,
they
they
should
should
go on
go
and
there,
check it out.
sign up and join. It's a
Yep.
new platform that is full of information about our industry, from not only online classes, but in-person classes, business related. You can even take a course in accounting and business and so forth. So it's a great
And
platform.
just meet and hang with people,
Yeah.
because you'll get that question come up often, where you have those that are interested in becoming educators, platform artists.
Right.
What do you say to them? Or so, and you always get asked questions like this when you have like so many people around you. You'll get a young one come up and go, I'd like to do platform work. Where do I start? And you go, that's a loaded question. It's
Yeah.
going to take more. And there's people. How does Francesca answer that question with your background in education, platform artwork, photo imagery? Where does a young artist today start?
Yeah. Well,
What would you say to one?
first of all, I would suggest find a company that you're passionate about,
Yeah,
that you love their product. Because if you want to be an educator or platform artist, you are essentially representing a brand. So you need to make
correct.
sure that you're using that in your salon, so you're familiar with that on a daily basis, and you're also familiar with their whole philosophy around that brand. So that's what
Yes,
the first thing I would do. And then you can either connect with your local distributor that sells the brand, and then ask if to be put in touch with the brand's director of education and go through that channel. But in the meantime, when we're behind the chair, let's assume we're doing 10 clients a day, right? Just
right.
shits and giggles. You've got 10 opportunities to practice presenting.
Mhm.
It
Yes,
shouldn't change from when you're behind the chair to when you're on stage. Just that when you're on stage, it's just a bigger arena, obviously.
absolutely.
When I used to teach presentation skills with Graham Webb, which I love teaching that as well, is that you have 10 opportunities a day to practice that with your clients. How you speak to them, like your gestures, your just everything, how you stand, how you talk. I mean,
Right.
it's so, and
It's a
then
lot.
there's a lot. There are,
Yeah, that's why.
as well as I do, Philip, that Very rare you meet someone that can do it all, do amazing hair on stage, talk to the audience, educate the audience, entertain the audience. Right? It's a lot. You need a lot.
Yeah, there's the key. That's why Mary, Anne, Jeton, Mincy, and I do a thing called Platforms for Success.
Oh, awesome.
Oh, sorry, I'm a great presenter. I'm sorry, Platforms.
Oh, yes, I have heard. I've heard of that. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's done so incredibly well. The response has been phenomenal. And that's also for people that want to be more rounded in how they present something. As you say, they've got to have tremendous knowledge about the product they're representing.
Right.
Do they believe in that product?
Yes.
And then working,
and also they need to brush up on their skill set.
Yeah, exactly.
Whatever that skill, if cutting, it could be updo styling, it could be braiding, whatever is, especially whatever it is to that brand. Like I know you have your Wilson Method system. So if somebody wants to come on board with that, I would say, well, watch as many videos as you can of Phillip doing the haircut. Get your mannequin out and master it. Get the combs and master it. So that you're preparing yourself to because being on stage is not easy. It is not easy.
And I would tell you, I admire TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. I admire these. I think it's phenomenal. They can get hundreds of thousands or millions of people to follow. But then comes this reality check on being an Insta-famer is great. And it's a new vision, a new era. But that's a totally different world when you're standing in front of your peers on a stage.
Yeah. Yeah. And you have to know how to it's complete. Well, then that's when you know that's being a presenter.
Yes.
It's on stage.
Yes.
To an arena of people. So it's two different animals altogether.
It really is. It's a whole different thing. And when you say about like with the Wilson Method, as with what you teach, it's you don't follow, just be your own person.
Exactly.
Take segments of each and individual person you admire and respect and add it to your portfolio.
Make it your own. Yeah, make it your own.
Yes. Yes.
Well, that's why I say I'm not rebellion disciplinarian, because I have many different styles of hair cutting. From the classic to razor to all in between, ponytail bases and all in between. But I'm confident in them. You know why? Because I know the head shape.
Exactly. Right.
I know where gravity is in reference to every section. So
right. I had an experience that really endorsed that a while back in Barcelona when there was an event going on that Kristen Farrell and Mary were executing with Paula Kent Meehan. And I wasn't doing any of the events. I was there as Mary's better half. So I'm in trouble. But I'm in Barcelona and I go out by the pool. There's no one there because everybody's in events, doing all the very classes. And it was spectacular. And I walk across the pool and I see this guy lying there and he says, "Phillip, come over here." And I'm like, "Oh, okay." So I went over and I sat with him and chatted, and he was in his early 80s. And we were chatting away and he says, "Listen, I know what you did when you were with me. And I know what you're doing now. And I'm glad you just used me as a blueprint, just for the understanding head shape, how hair falls, growth patterns, and how to address them and control them. So keep doing what you're doing and keep being who you are, not who I was." And as I walked away, that was Vidal Sassoon.
Yes, because we do need that blueprint. Because if all else fails, you can go back to the blueprint.
Yes. And so I think the year ahead is going to be absolutely amazing.
Oh, we have so much on our calendars already.
Oh,
right?
My goodness. It's incredible, Mary. I mean, and then we fly to New York on Saturday, and Mary is co-producing and working with Gerard at Hairbrain. So it's just a very, very busy first half of the year.
Yes.
It's really
cool. I'm looking forward to We have the premiere shows coming up.
Yep.
We have the Pennsylvania show. We have the cruise. And then we have the night.
I hope I don't
Italy,
get
which I'm so
seasick.
excited about. Sorry?
I'm not very good on the ocean. I'm a bit
No.
of a.
Well, you better
I'm a
get your sea legs together, mate. You better get those sea legs, or you will like.
But what I will say is that if people check it out, the cruise, and check out who's performing there, who will be there, and others that will be associated with it.
There's still time to
Pretty
sign
brilliant.
up. Yeah, there's still time to sign up if anybody wants to join us.
Get yourself to Miami, and then off we go.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be
a great, an
amazing.
amazing line of speakers and educators.
Absolutely.
So really, yeah.
And I mean, it's just going to be amazing. And then, as I said, the Seven Springs show, amazing. It's a very busy part. First part of the year.
Busy hair season. Very busy hair season. Then there's the IBS show as well, and the Chicago in March and April, I think. But yeah, I mean, I'm excited about, I'm always coming up with ideas on, and I love doing photo shoots. It's one of my biggest passions, because when it's here, there's something here. The next thing is it comes to fruition, and you see it in print in a magazine or on the wall. And, it may not always get nominated in the NAHA, but
doesn't matter.
That's not the be all and end all. Yeah, it's not the be all and end all, because it's still going to have its moment, and photographs they're priceless because they live forever. So you always have that to look back on too. So
if I was a stylist and I was, working with just myself or even with a team, irrespective, and I had the opportunity of chatting with on the Mayan cruise with a group that's on there, I would be all over that, to have them all in one area.
Yes.
It's
we should have like an open mic night or something.
I think absolutely. I think it'll be a lot of fun. And we're getting comments on here that loving the blonde on you, Francesca Rivetti.
Oh, who's that from? Who's that from?
Oh, it's just all coming up. It's just like Facebook.
I can't see the comments, but thank you.
I know, but it's just
I'm loving it too. I do know it's all coming. That's great. Well, I just want to say thank you to everyone, because I can't see who's joined us, but whoever's joining us live, and if you're watching it in catch up, hello, and thank you for joining us. I really enjoyed it.
It's amazing. I just Diana Cecilia loves you, blonde. Yeah, it's going incredible.
Yeah.
So if we were to say our conversation is coming to an end, which went extremely fast.
I know,
what is it that you would like to say to an ever-growing audience that are appearing on the side of my screen?
Oh, yeah. Well, first of all, thank you all for being in the industry. I know we all have had our own journey, and thank you for joining us today. And those of you that know me know that I'm exceptionally passionate about what I'm doing. And I would love for you guys to come and join us on the cruise. On the cruise. Yes, the cruise, but also the Italy. Like I said, it's only open to 10 people, but look within. Don't always, we hear very often, surround yourself with the right people. I agree with that, but we can't lean on them all the time. You've got to go within.
Be your own person.
Be your own person. You've got to check in with yourself. And creativity. Can I just talk about this real quick? Because creativity is like a muscle. We all have muscles, but what happens if we don't work the muscle? It gets flabby and jiggly, right? You go to the gym more frequently, you start lifting your weight, you start getting toned and buffed, and you see a change, you see a development. I feel that creativity is like that. It's a muscle that we all have, because we're creating all the time when we're behind the chair. We pick up the scissors, we're creating something. We've morphed it from one thing to another. But if you really want to start expanding your brain and your creativity, is to, when you're about to throw things away, question it first. How can I use this in something? You know, like I did
Right.
with the mop, my mop collection.
Yeah.
I was going to throw these mops out, but then I was like, wait a minute, no, let me. And then look, I got a nomination with Avant-Garde Naha. So,
Right.
yeah. So, you know, start to like think a little bit more open. And I guarantee you, the more you exercise that creative muscle, I guarantee you, the ideas will start coming to you more fluidly, and just jot them down. You know, jot them down, fill it out, and then revisit it. And, you know, make that come to life, because there's nothing more gratifying than seeing your work. Now, it doesn't have to always be as crazy and as avant-garde as what you see. It can be where you're doing photo shoot to adorn your walls in your salon. So you just want to showcase your work and not somebody
Yeah.
else's work. So it doesn't have to be the extreme. And I do classes on that as well. So, you know, a photo shoot is a photo shoot. It all depends on the concept of it, as to
Right.
how far you go with lighting, how far you go with makeup and wardrobe and everything in between. But just want to say, you know, one of my favorite quotes I use for myself is, wait, first of all, I just lost it. Wait, what's my favorite quote?
That's
That is
called
really
a
funny. Oh, if your mind can't perceive, I've been saying it for bloody donkey's years. That's the blonde moment. If your mind can perceive it and your heart can believe it, you will achieve it.
That's so true. And
Yeah.
photo imagery brings out a lot of emotion that you have for something you want to do.
Yes,
I
I will be
started
sharing.
with a,
I will be
I had
sharing
a
mine.
brownie camera. Do you remember the brownie cameras?
Oh yes, and the
That's what
disposable
I did.
ones. Yeah,
That's it. My first
yeah.
photo shoot.
Wow.
Took 6 weeks to develop it in the local pharmacy. Then when I got it back, I went, I think I'm going to become a cab driver. Terrible.
He's like, nah, that did not.
Terrible.
It's funny, isn't it, how what you see through the lens?
Yeah, yeah. I knew what I wanted to see. I just didn't see it. It just didn't.
Yeah.
It was terrible. But you know what? As I say,
You know, you learn that every experience on set for me is a learning
Yes.
experience.
Yes.
Just
We're
like every
getting
new client that sits in your chair is a
right,
learning
right,
experience.
right.
So
Exactly.
it's just I feel like I got it down to my system of doing a photo shoot. Everyone's going to have their own method of how they go about doing it, but I found that mine has been working well for me. So I will be sharing my non-nominated pieces, my collections,
Okay.
within the next few days on social media. So take, you know, keep a lookout, because they will be going viral now finally, because we have to keep them
Right,
under wraps
right.
until the announcement day. But I do want to wish all the finalists congratulations anyway, Naha, because the work, as always, is amazing.
Absolutely. Congratulations to one and all.
Yeah.
So now coming to a close, because I could chat with you all day long, darling.
I know, me too.
But you know what?
And it's wine o'clock time now here.
But I want to say thank you. It's been an absolutely amazing. I'll remember this interview a month for a long time to come, and look forward to seeing you on the Mayan cruise and at Seven Springs.
Yes. Thank you so
Bye,
much,
darling.
Phillip and Mary. Thank you. Bye, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. Ciao.
Bye, darling.
Ciao.